Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a bit since I've recorded my last video, and today is going to be a little bit of a ramble one, where I'm probably just going to talk about my life and what I've learned. But my initial intention for this video was to make it about how to succeed at school, but I think that I will essentially be back ordering that, as I will do it at a later date since I haven't recorded in a while. But without further ado, I have 30 minutes to record this, and I think we'll just start off. So, before I got into self-improvement, I was in a fairly dark place. My mental health was not good at all. I did not talk to a lot of people. I had a lot of bad habits. One of the main things was I remember a lot of escapism, and so what would happen every day I got home after school would be that I often just would eat a bowl of ice cream and a bag, or not a bag of chips, but like a bowl of chips every day I came back from school. And I used to play a lot of video games, and it was essentially anything to escape my current circumstance, to essentially just turn off my brain and try to get away what was from happening. Because to be honest, I definitely felt incompetent at the time, and I pretty much just didn't want to deal with anything. But it was not until the summer break of grade 9 for me, which I think was 2019, that my life would change forever. And that was the introduction of self-improvement. I will say that the first book that I read about self-improvement was Atomic Habits. That was the book that essentially got me started on self-improvement, and it was the first book that I actually chose to read on my own time, that school didn't enforce. But pretty much through this book, it would change the rest of my life. It would lead me to develop better habits and to learn more about other areas of self-improvement and continue along this path. And so, essentially, I remember it was the first time I actually started exercising. Before that point, I was a bit chubbier when I was younger, and I was pretty much a marshmallow, is what my cousins would call me. But I never realized at the time that essentially exercise is more about mental fortitude than it would be about physical exercise, I think. Because for the first year or so, I essentially had to develop my mental fortitude towards it, and I actually had to develop a habit of doing it continually on a consistent basis every single day. And so for the first year, I literally just did 10 minutes of exercise, and it was pretty much just like calisthenics. So, like push-ups, lunges, squats, planks, stuff like that, which I still do. However, it was 10 minutes of exercise and like a 20-minute walk. And that was the first ever form of exercise that I did. There's obviously like stuff in school where they would like force you to exercise, and I would do that. And I would say I would try that, but definitely taking it into my own accountability and my own responsibility, that was the first form of it. So developing that habit was pretty crucial at the start, and I definitely think that it started to influence the rest of my life or other aspects of my life. Another thing I got into was trying to fix my sleep schedule. I pretty much used to only go to sleep when I felt tired. And that pretty much screwed up a lot of things, because if you think about it, I never really truly appreciated, so to speak, how important sleep was. And so I developed a habit back then to wake up at 7:30 and go to bed at 9:30. And that was another crucial part that improved my life. But there's also one other thing, and I can't exactly remember what it was now. Can't remember it. But, it was journaling. Journaling was the last thing. Journaling was the other habit that I started to form in the start of grade 10. I think it was September when I started journaling. So I think that was near like 2020 or wherever it was. And journaling has been one of those habits that has definitely made me more reflective. Because if you think about it, you're always reflecting on your day. And depending on what type of journaling you're doing or what you're writing about, it can be very useful or it can have no effect at all. But I definitely found the most effect when I would write about current problems I had and potential solutions I could try. And now, after 3 years, I do a form called gratitude journaling, which has pretty much made me very grateful for everything I do have. It was definitely weird at the start because you're forcing yourself to be grateful, and it's a weird concept to get over. But once you do, it just becomes natural, and you actually like start becoming grateful for those things. And there has been moments in my life where like on a constant basis, I'll write down on my journal that I'm grateful for life and that I'm grateful to be alive. Is it every day? No, but like it has definitely become frequent enough where I would say that I'm enjoying my life and I'm more grateful for this opportunity of life than I was ever before. And in general, I am more happier of a person. But yeah, so that was kind of the start where I did that for a year, and then the whole COVID situation happened, which at first, to be honest, didn't really affect me. The main thing was like I didn't really just see anyone in person, and I mean like it wasn't anything new. I did it all the time anyway, so it was like not really a big of a sweat. However, very late into the year, there was definitely a period where I kind of just stopped doing all the good habits. And after I stopped doing it, I noticed that I got into that sort of depressive state again that I was before self-improvement. So it'd eventually be in grade 12 where I started self-improvement again, and I got fairly serious about it. And I fixed all those other habits. I started working out again, and I did all the. I've always journaled since I started self-improvement, but I got more serious, I should say, about some of these things, like journaling, like exercise. I also started meditating, but it's definitely been a lot of learning as well, which is one of the things I never thought that would happen, because I didn't like going to school, and eventually I just developed this mindset where I liked going to school, I liked learning about self-improvement. It was practically the only thing I did with my free time, was like reading and learning about self-improvement, about business, and stuff like that. And it has definitely shaped my perspective and my mindsets. And it has also, in a sense, it's kind of made me have a different view about life than pretty much anyone that I know. Because on most things, there's probably only been like one person, maybe two, where I've actually like connected. And I'm very grateful for those people. They were very supportive. But in general, my whole view to life is very different from the average person. But I don't know, maybe it's because I finally like challenging myself now. I finally like stepping outside of my comfort zone. I don't care for escapism as much, which has always concerned me about people, is that, like, I never got into like drugs and whatnot, or like alcohol or smoking or vaping or whatever the hell. And so I realized, at least this is my own personal opinion, maybe I'm wrong about this, I have no idea, but I kind of view it as if people do those things in order to cope with their life, because many people don't have a sense of direction. Many people don't really have a purpose, or they haven't defined one yet, I should say. So, I don't know. I think it's just been one of those things where whenever, like, if I, like, happen to do one of those things, it's definitely because, like, life isn't going good, or I'm not good enough, and so I try to escape reality. But I don't know, I never really got the point of it. I don't see why people do it. Because in reality, you kind of know what you should be doing, and you should probably just figure out how to do the stuff that you know you need to be doing, and you need to, like, actually challenge yourself in some ways. And, like, basically my main point is that you want to be avoiding instant gratification, and you want to be pretty much practicing delayed gratification, because you'll find that you'll be a lot more happier in the long term. Which is a funny concept, because happiness isn't really the goal, but by being fulfilled and by being competent and disciplined, happiness, I feel like, is released as a byproduct. And so you'll be more happier by just doing what's necessary, and by trying to become the best version of yourself possible. I will say, though, that I'm definitely not perfect. I have definitely screwed up a lot, and I continue to on a fairly regular basis, but it's okay because, I have to learn somehow, and I have to continue learning and like figuring out what's the problem, figuring out possible solutions, trying all my options, and then usually something works or it fails and I have to try again. I don't think failure is an option, because I think you can only fail and then learn from it and potentially try again or try something new. I don't know. One of the biggest areas I've had a struggle with is that for the longest time ever, I wanted to essentially start a business, and my problem is that I don't do it. To give you some background context, I've been into aquariums for a long time. I breed fish and I grow aquarium plants. And I used to sell them in grade 10 to the pet store. And then they stopped taking them. And then I kind of just stopped doing it altogether. Well, I still have the aquariums, but I stopped selling them. And I haven't really done anything with business since then. I've been pretty, I want to say scared. I don't know if scared's the right word, but there's some sense of inaction, and I don't know whether that's fear of failing or whatnot, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's just some scenarios in life are only ever going to be solved with exposure therapy, which pretty much just means you have to do it until you're not afraid of doing it anymore. So the greatest example of this is probably public speaking or making phone calls, because at first, well, depending on what type of person you are, but at first, for me at least, I would definitely hate doing that. Even though I'm not bad at it, I just don't like making phone calls. But the more phone calls you make, the easier it becomes, and you don't really think about it. You kind of just can do it. And so I think it's definitely one of those things where I probably just should start something and then figure it out as I go. And by exposing myself to it, eventually I'll just stop being concerned when doing it. But that's definitely one of my biggest struggles. But yeah, I pretty much wanted to do that right after I graduated, and now that I've graduated, I graduated last year, by the way, in 2022. So pretty much what has happened is I was supposed to go to a college for business administration and accounting, but the college kind of never got back to me. And then I called them 4 or 5 times, and every time I'd call them, I had to leave a message, and it was just a whole kerfuffle. And then they accepted me, and then I came to register, and then they're like, yeah, it's actually full now. LOLXD. And then and then they put me on a wait list, so I'm on a wait list right now. But I feel like I should use the scholarships that I have, and so therefore I should probably go back and just get the thing anyway. I feel like I may as well use it, but whether I should go to college is a different question. It's definitely one of those things where you're kind of just pressured to do it. Granted, I know what I want to do, whereas most people don't, and they just go to school not knowing what they want to do, which is, I don't think it's a great idea. But yeah, I don't know. Currently, I'm pretty much just working a full-time job and then doing this sometimes on the weekends. I will say, the job that I do work at it's a good job. I work as a warehouse person, basically. And it pays good and it has like good benefits and whatnot. But for a person who wants a job, it's a great job. But for a person like me, I definitely just don't care for working at jobs. Mainly because like I want to do my own thing, and I don't want to be there 5 days a week and then get home and then you're exhausted, but you still have to work and exercise and do all that stuff, and then it's pretty much just a cycle. And sometimes I do feel as if I should just quit and start my own thing. But I haven't done that. And I don't know if that's external pressure or what it is, but I just know that like staying at a job, you kind of become comfortable. And when you become comfortable, you don't really change a whole lot. And so I think that there needs to be a time and place where I just put myself in like a challenging spot where I really do need to make money on my own or figure it out somehow. But I don't know. I'm currently 18 years old, and then I'll turn 19 in July. Which is also a funny concept because most people, and like even my coworkers and stuff, will be like, "Oh, when you turn 19," because like they want to go drinking or whatever the hell, and then it's like I don't want to go drinking when I turn 19. I want to like, when you turn 19, I can like, do cool things like open my own bank account without like parents' permission. I can start investing in the stock market and stuff like that, right? And so that's probably what I'll do when I turn 19. But it's definitely a thing that's always changing, and it's you kind of just have to figure it out as you go. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether I still want to do the aquarium business. That's what I've said I want to do for the longest time ever. I don't think I would entirely mind doing it. I feel like it'd be still okay. However, there's a part of me that wishes that I can just do this as a living, where I potentially like mentor people and help people improve through self-improvement and find their purpose and challenge themselves and develop good habits and stuff like that. And so if there's a world where I can get paid to do that it's a possibility. I know it is a possibility. And there is an opportunity for it. So that would be cool to do. I think that would be my main goal, was to like help people through self-improvement and somehow get paid for it, or get compensated for that. But like I don't know if I want to turn that, I don't know if I want to turn that into a business. I just kind of want to help people and just tell people. Like, that'd be pretty cool. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. But if I don't do something like this where I help mentorship people or whatever the hell, then I'll probably end up doing something with the aquarium stuff, and breed fish, or potentially just grow plants. But yeah, you'll never know. You never know where life will take you. But God willing, I succeed at whatever I do. But in general, I want to say since graduating, I've definitely been more lonely. It's one of those things where like can't really help it too much. Like there's so, like I could definitely do something about it, but I just don't. And there's a couple of people I should start talking to again since high school, but it's whatever. And then like also when you graduate, you have to like really figure out what you're doing and like take responsibility for everything, which is a funny concept because when you're in school, they would tell you, don't worry about it, you could figure out when you're older and you have all the time in the world, which I don't think you really do. I think you should always be trying new things and trying to figure out your purpose and your passion and what potential things you want to do for a career. But yeah, moral of the story, self-improvement has pretty much saved my life. And I am so grateful for everything that I do have and everything I've accomplished. I apologize if there's no real like lesson to this video, or like you didn't learn something like with my other videos, but that's fine. It's just a ramble video. I'll probably make a lesson one next time. But with that being said, I want to wish you good luck on your own self-improvement journey, and peace out. Bye.